Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Just in time for Thanksgiving, a Lexington teen is home from the hospital after being hit by a car. You'll hear an update on his recovery from his mother. City leaders and police in Lexington have laid out plans to try and keep us all safe during the holiday weekend. We've got to look at what they're prepared to do. We've also got to look at what you expect for your Thanksgiving Day travel. These stories and breaking news as it happens coming up on WKYT This Morning. Good morning and welcome into you on this Thanksgiving. Whether you're headed out to work or you're just getting back from work or maybe you're headed into the kitchen to start the turkey, we welcome you in. Glad you're here with us today. And let's check out the weather now with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Well, we're looking outside hoping to keep that snow off the roadways, but what we're seeing is some snow flying around the region. Now, I haven't heard of anything on the roadways, don't get me wrong, and this is not a big snowmaker whatsoever. It's very widespread, but it's not very heavy snow. Let's just put it that way. And we're looking across the region. And look, you're getting some flurries in the northern zones, but the best snow, which is light snow, is actually south of 64, and that's rolling southbound. And it'll continue to just fade away as we work through our next several hours. I think it's on out of here right around 9-10 a.m. Current temperature-wise, we're there in the 30s, so it's pretty prime there to get those flakes falling to the ground. Flurries and cold as we head toward the afternoon. Temperature's pretty chilly. 36 degrees. Now we'll go over the latest forecast today, see if we have any travel impacts, and also look ahead towards your weekend coming up in a few minutes.
Life can change in an instant. A Lexington family nearly lost their 14-year-old boy. 12 days and nights of hospital, surgery, and prayers from around the world have led to a wish come true on this evening before Thanksgiving.
It may be a miracle he even survived. The 8th grader from Lexington Christian Academy and some friends tried to cross Man-O-War Boulevard. Mason Wade didn't make it. An SUV hit him.
Initially, we thought that he was going to die. The first indication was that he was in critical condition.
Mason suffered a brain injury, broken bones in his face, fractures of his elbow and collarbone. For the next 12 days, his parents learned a lot about the determination and courage of the boy who played sports and is close to becoming an Eagle Scout.
We have seen strength in him that we didn't know was as strong as it is. I mean, he's just been amazing. He's just done everything he could to get better.
After a week at UK Children's Hospital, Mason came to Cardinal Hill for rehabilitation.
Went from needing someone to hold on to him while he walked to pretty much walking by himself, and now he can reach down to the floor and pick things up.
His family credits prayers from as far away as India for his recovery. They expected to stay at Cardinal Hill 2 weeks, but after 3 days, doctors answered Mason's wish to go home for Thanksgiving. His mom's reaction?
Cried. Just tears of joy. We were just really excited, and Mason just was absolutely thrilled.
Mason is still working on speaking and getting his thoughts across, but he wanted everyone to know this.
Thank you for the prayers, and I feel like good because I get to go home.
When something like this happens, we really find out how many good people there are out there in our community.
The Wades expect Mason to make a full recovery and possibly return to school in January. Mason would like to be back in school on Monday. Police need your help finding the man they say has been cashing fake payroll checks at stores around Kentucky. We've received some surveillance video showing the man. Police say the fake checks appear to be from AT&T and they're written for $367.54. The checks are made out to someone named Robert Martin in Prestonsburg, but police think that's a fake identity. The manager of a store in Paintsville says her store cashed a fake check earlier this month.
We're not supposed to, but I have cashed payroll checks before if I know them. But this guy, he said he was from AT&T, had the check was AT&T on it. He had his AT&T credentials on. You know, normally I didn't want to that day, but I did.
Police think the man may be driving a green four-door car. They think he's cashed fake checks at stores in Floyd and Johnson counties. Police say he may have done the same thing at stores in Richmond and in Irvin. An Estill County man's died after investigators say he was assaulted. The Fayette County Coroner's Office says 23-year-old William Kane died Tuesday night at UK Hospital. Investigators say Kane was assaulted Friday on Barnes Mountain Road in Estill County. The Coroner's Office says the death is being investigated as a homicide. State police tell us they're still trying to figure out what led to Kane's death. A man beaten, robbed, and left for dead says he's lucky to be alive. Derek Kissy was in a Rockcastle County courtroom yesterday as a suspect in the case. Jason Gambrell pleaded guilty to assault. Police say Gambrell stole $700 from Kissy, beat him, and left him in an abandoned limestone quarry. The two men were co-workers. Kissy says he doesn't remember much about that day.
I have no idea. The only thing I remember is just walking out the doors at work. Other than that, I don't remember anything.
As part of the plea deal, prosecutors recommended a 14-year prison sentence for Gambrell. Kissy says he still requires mental health care because of his injuries. Firefighters say a kerosene heater sparked a fire that forced a Harrison County family from their home. The fire broke out Wednesday afternoon on Bobtown Road. No one was injured, but the family won't be able to stay at the home for the time being. The Red Cross is helping them. Harrison County EMS collecting clothing donations for the family. We have information on how you can help if you're interested on WKYT.com. Well, some shoppers looking for those best Black Friday deals or Black Thursday got a head start on the action. The Lexington Herald Leader set up a drive-through in the parking lot on Midland Avenue last night to sell its Thanksgiving Day edition. The paper stuffed with Black Friday ads. Drivers lined up well before the paper went on sale at 8 o'clock last night to make sure they got a copy. And Black Friday shoppers already lined up outside Best Buy. Should we call this Black Thursday? I don't know. This tent was set up at the Best Buy in Hamburg last night. Those in line will not have to wait until Friday. Best Buy will be opening at 5 o'clock. We'll have a full list of the Thanksgiving times for shopping and Black Friday hours for stores around the Bluegrass on WKYT.com. Lexington Police and the city's traffic department have announced their plan to keep shoppers safe this holiday season. They say they've already changed the timing of the traffic lights and posted signs about the traffic plan around Fayette Mall, Hamburg Pavilion, and downtown Lexington. Extra police officers will be in the Hamburg and Fayette Mall areas to handle traffic and try to prevent crime. Police say lock your doors and put anything valuable in the trunk. A special pay-as-you-go restaurant in Boyle County has held its first lunch. Grace Cafe, a Danville restaurant, held its first pop-up lunch at the New Hope Food Pantry this week. The restaurant doesn't have a permanent location, so it's holding lunches at random businesses. The cafe plans to set up a donation system for patrons to pay when they can for their lunch. In the future, if someone cannot pay, they can volunteer to pay for their food instead. Thanksgiving got off to an early start last night for some folks in need. The Lexington Rescue Mission held its annual community Thanksgiving meal at Broadway Christian Church. Organizers say there's a huge need for these kinds of meals in our community.
It's all good.
They may come for the food.
I like the turkey, I like the cranberry stuff, I like the stuffing. I just like everything of it.
But for Paula Matthews, there's a lot more to it than that. Spending a Thanksgiving Eve with people she calls her family.
People need to want to belong to someplace. You know, they need to get back on their feet. If they're on the street, they need to get back up, and this place helps them.
The Lexington Rescue Mission says they prepared to feed over 600 people here inside Broadway Christian Church. They say that's a huge increase in the number since last year.
We can't put our finger on exactly what it is, but we just know that even with the improvements in the economy and in unemployment rates, people still have a need, and they're just still struggling to make a few ends meet.
Whenever the servers give the food to them, it's just fun to see the smiles on their faces whenever they get the food. Because I know that most of them don't have like a lot of food throughout like the year. So it's awesome to see them get a big plate full of food.
Every one of those plates helps make sure all these people have a happy Thanksgiving.
And I really love them. I love all of them. Love every one of them. I do.
After all, Matthews reminds us, we all have a lot to be thankful for. In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Other Thanksgiving dinners will be held in Lexington tomorrow for those in need. Malone's and Sal's in Lansdowne will host their annual meal beginning at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. New Day Community Church on North MLK will begin its meal at the same time. Salvation Army's dinner begins at noon on West Main Street, and Central Christian Church on East Shore will begin its meal at 5.